This video is about Bryson Gray. It's not going to be like against him or saying refuting, because from where he's coming from, this could all be perfectly normal. It's just that once you know, and so I'm going to try to affect some kind of knowledge that I can see where he's coming from, because I can't really tell where people are coming from who believe in eternal, like the hell of the soul, that you never get to come back for perspective and you never get out, but yet the Lord's mercy is endless. The thing is, like, okay, you don't get to be mercifully and endlessly merciful if you're not Christ, because we don't have time. At some point you have to stop praying for people even that they're going to hell, right? But if you know someone's going to hell, when do you ever stop praying for them? The thing is, if I subscribe to that, then I would not be able to stop praying for someone who's not worth my time. Somebody has to be showing you that their commitment is to the wrong direction for you to say, okay, I tried, I'm not worrying about you no more. Learn from adversity, right? It's time, because you won't listen to me. Go learn from adversity. It's not the same thing as going to hell. So what happened where he feels like he knows every type of personality, character type that's going to hell? What does that mean to say that? Because if you get over to the other side with St. Peter, you can't say, oh, I didn't know this, I didn't know that. It's a cop-out. Like, you're just you're resolved to not take responsibility. So when you say that you're trying to understand, you're blocking yourself. You're not going to ever try to understand. It's so we don't have time to waste on you, right? So this isn't saying whether or not it's true there's hell, because what is even that? Whether or not you ever get out, if you ever go, because there's 4 different corners of this shit. There's like different, like, if you knew what hell was, you would want to go. But if you don't know, then it's understandable if you're never want to go. You know what I mean? Because you have to go into the subconscious. Christ only ever rose out of hell. It's not backwards. It's the forward way. It's like, you know what I mean? Like you're not going for arbitrary reason to go and steal the keys of death from hell so you can rise out of hell and be the Christ. Because everything that anybody says who is not Christ, and that would be from the mouth of Christ, you sound like a psycho, right? Like, look at the reason why he gets to say these things is because that's the Christ. For me to say I'm God, for me to say, like, that's the peak of arrogance, the height and the peak of arrogance, because I'm not, right? So you don't need to say Most High. Christ is Christ. You don't need to say the Most High. And you don't need to name him Yahweh, because the sound of a man makes when he's releasing, because that's like, explains how you got here. So I'm talking to you because I'm telling you how you got here. You ain't no, you know what I mean? That's not sound like right, just or righteous at all. But if someone wants to say Yahweh and all these things like the Most High, they're not coming from a place that's wrong in the heart. It's because you're supposed to know. You're supposed to know. You can't make the excuse that you don't know every type of characteristic that will lead you to hell. Right? Because then you will say, like, oh, honestly, like, real talk, I'm trying to figure this out, but I'm not. I'm never gonna try. I'm gonna try to keep anybody around me who is engaging with me from helping me to figure out what I need to figure out, and then waste their time. So let me just tell you, the lake of fire and brimstone, it should not be combined as the same thing. And so I want to be careful how I come at Bryson Gray with this, because I respect him. Actually, like, it's not like, it's because I like somebody, then I even care to try to tell him stuff. Like, I wouldn't tell somebody this if I didn't like them. And it's not against him characteristic. His characteristics are fine, like his or whatever, like that's fine. I'm just saying for the catalog that you might be getting confused because fire and brimstone is a term coined to explain what the overturning of municipalities is like from false austerity. False austerity after the age of esotericism. That's before that they weren't esoteric, so they had false piety, and that could be the same thing. So if they're talking, so it could still happen where they have coined the term fire and brimstone, trying to relate that the municipality, because the aristocracies were not ever reached gratification. It's their, whatever's going on in their world is more important than any of us plebs. So if they can't work out their differences, then we have big ass problems. Like we're gonna send our children off we're gonna send our sons off to be destroyed. You're gonna have kids and hand them over to the enemy. Then you'll never be able to acknowledge how that is done. Like how you're doing that. And then because you want to be convenient and comfortable and you don't want to have to deal with it and you want to pass them off to professionals, or it's like a man is another career and everything, and they have just as many chances of getting abused in public school than if they're in an orphanage, or like it's like some people shouldn't be homeschooled because their parents are abusive, then they need the public school to escape their parents if they ever have a chance. Why is it that limits their chances? Why does bad parenting have to be the problem of the child? How come parenting is all experienced from trying, like your kids are basically experiments for how to do parenting. And then as the parent learns, they have mistakes. And even if they acknowledge those mistakes, doesn't mean that they want to stop. It just means that they're probably willing to tell you anything you need to hear to give them more chance to drain your energy and siphon it off to some buster who's controlling them because they can have a baby. Men will use a baby to control women. Women can be controlled by a man. A baby is just one way. There's also it's like drugs, compounds of drugs. Like a Honnigan or somebody can make somebody into a zombie. A scammer can model himself after the opposite of the last bad experience that a woman had. So she's the anti-version of whatever she is trying to get away from. And she'll fall from one scam to another. Then they call that shit mysticism pimping mysticism. And if you know Oprah, you have protection, you know what I mean? You can be a spirituality pimper because you know Oprah. I don't know if that's Oprah's power or if that's somebody Oprah knows' power, because they still haven't even give us the real reason why they accepted Oprah in the first place. Why all of a sudden did they think that she was cool, decided to give her a chance if they knew before that they didn't like Oprah? If they tell you it was because her hair was like this, they could be lying. I don't know why. What the fuck would be the problem with that coming from someone looking in the mirror that can see they have a problem? You know what I mean? You don't gotta convince me that this kind of hair was a stumbling block. Okay, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I'm not even saying that this is nicer, preferably to any other kind of hair. I just don't know what the fuck they're talking about. So I think that's not the real reason. Sometimes they tell you bad thing about themselves to make you have a disdain, but they want you to feel that way. And they want you to know that shit because they have another thing that they're holding over so that they can still prescribe indoctrination in another form that you will allow a scammer to do with time, that we don't understand still what they do. It's just that don't give time to scammers because they know what to do with it. We don't still know what to do with it. They can make you feel bad for them. They can make you want to lash out and give them more information about yourself so they can build a profile on you while you're giving them a piece of your mind where you feel sorry for, or you think that they're, it's like they'll make you feel sorry for them, or they'll make you think that you got them in trouble, or they'll make you fucking so vitriolic that you'll want to lash out and tell them what they need to know to complete the profile. And they just stay around doing shit with time that we don't understand. I almost can't even make any more videos. So yeah, the Lake of Fire, I don't know what that is. I give props to Bryson Gray for admitting that he doesn't know what that is. He just doesn't want to end up there. But fire and brimstone didn't come from the Bible. It could have come from before the Bible. It could have come from after. That's irregardless. It came from... we don't want to make modalistic arguments, so we look at what that is. It's like if you don't want to know more about your enemy, then you must be on the side of the enemy too. And you don't want me to study about the enemy. You're going to stigmatize me for watching what the enemy does and learning about them because you're saying I'm giving them a platform or whatever. There's false piety and false austerity kicked off the overturning of municipality. What happened before that was esoterics. We were required to become esoteric through influences like in culture and music and stuff. Before that, what did they require us to become deterministic? Because the land provided everything. God provided everything. You never have to ask. I already know how to make shoes. Anytime I need this, I can walk over there and I know where to find it. So you're not going to become an industrial. You're not going to contribute to the push of a modality such as the aristocracy needs to reach gratification. So we need you to become deterministic. You can't just be sitting on a tree limb playing instruments, singing songs to woo the ladies, or if you want to get into stick fights and everything. They like to come and wipe the blood off, off your lumps that could be like you might have a concussion or something, and the chicks find that shit attractive, and they'll come over and they'll fucking wipe the blood and everything. And so sometimes we, like young men, they like don't clean the blood, like they'll walk around and not wipe it off or something like that. Some chick might want to come and peel it off of your face. I would advise people to get in stick fights and go bump a broad. But I don't want to say that if I'm not doing that, right? Because they're like, how many bitches do you have on your team? For you, like, if but I understand. Just because there's equal amount of females as there is men, like you're lucky if you ever find just one love. And you might be programming yourself to think there's a problem with a girl with a guy or something. Like Chris Chan. He was like making all these posts looking for a nice girl with no boyfriend, and it was like he reinforced in his mind that there was something wrong with a girl having a boyfriend, so he could never find a girl. But at the same time, they might only like gas and motorcycles and guns, or they might only be interested in unfocused people that are willing to tote and hit a lick and do this and that real quick, be right back up, and then they can burn like a large flame, as opposed to like the small flame. And if he gets caught up or hemmed up or anything happens to him, she's really free to bounce. She really can just go find another fast living, hard hustling dude that it's not known whether or not he's gonna love her or treat her well, respect her, or kill her and spit on her. You don't know. She doesn't know either.